Is it time for you as an Android user to move to iOS? I did that last year with the iPhone 12 Pro after being an Android user my whole life, and this year I chose to continue with Apple with the iPhone 13 Pro. So is iOS 15 good enough to make an Android user switch? Does the iPhone 13 have what it takes for you to spend your money on it? If you want to talk about the current smartphone market, despite the foldables, on the scheme of Android phones, none of them is good enough to make me switch back to Android. Although Android phones have incredible hardware, and they've been really ahead of Apple in this field for a long time now. Like iPhones didn't have a 120Hz display till this year, and it's only for the Pro models. And they still have a notch in 2021. I mean, yes, the notch is not that big of a deal, and you can get used to it after a while, but a hole punch is better than a giant notch. But we don't want to focus on what we didn't have in the past, we want to focus on what we currently have. On the hardware side, I've been really enjoying the flat design, flat screen, flat sides, flat all the way, and now with the new screens with the 120Hz and the True Tone, it's definitely one of the best screens out there and a true joy to look at. I really hated the Edge screen on Android, don't get me wrong, it looked awesome, but function wise, it's a continuous pain of accidental touches. I still prefer the iPhone's cameras in terms of colors and skin tones over any other Android phone, to the point where I take a lot of videos for my channel with the iPhone. And this year with the iPhone 13, this department got a huge upgrade, which is a big selling point for me. And speaking of selling and buying, if you want to buy an Android phone, you know for a fact that it's gonna lose its value a few months down the line, unlike iPhones on the other hand that keep their value for a much longer time. And that's also a big selling point. By the way, while you're here, click that subscribe button, join the journey. On the durability side, ceramic shield on the 12 and the 13 has proven that iPhones have gone way stronger than before. It's not gonna break easily, and bending the phone is long gone. And the last thing that I really like about the iPhone's hardware is the fact that it has an actual physical mute switch. Such a small thing, but it makes a lot of sense. And I'm really happy that Apple have kept it all these years. On the software side though, here's where the controversy starts. iOS is getting closer and closer to Android with the customization, yet keeping that Apple taste. And this is one of the main reasons why I decided to move to iOS last year, because most of the things that I need are now available on iOS. Plus, it's much safer and way more secure. And with the ecosystem, none of the Android phones can compete with the Apple ecosystem. Period. I'll give props to Samsung for trying their best to have an ecosystem like Apple, but they're still so far away from what Apple have achieved. And the same thing continues with the longevity of the software updates. I can bet you that none of the Android phones that were launched alongside the iPhone 6s have the latest Android version, but the iPhone 6s does have the latest iOS version, which is the iOS 15, and it's still getting all the updates with everyone else. And that what also makes iPhones so much more worth it than Android phones on the long run. But it's not all sunshine and rainbows. Let's talk about the bad stuff about iOS. Like for example, I still miss the back button. A lot of times in some apps, they don't have a back button. And I really wanted to just go back to the previous page, but that doesn't exist on iOS. You can't. I just close the app and then open it back again. Either put a back button in every page of every app, or give us a back button, for God's sake. And what's up with the app settings on iOS? Why every time I need to change something in the Contacts app, I need to go to the settings? The fact that most of the app settings are embedded in the phone settings just drives me insane. Simple things like these that drives me insane every time I come across one of them. Yet, iOS is still way more worth it than Android, and nowadays with the hardware and the software, nothing can compete, in my opinion, with the iPhones. If you really care about what I mentioned in this video, then you'll probably be better off with an iPhone. I'll leave you again with the first question that I asked you at the beginning of this video. Is it time for you as an Android user to switch to iOS? Let me know down in the comments. That's been it for today's episode. I hope you got something out of it. If you did, give it a sub, and don't forget that life is all about love and dance. See ya.